Hello, my name is Chris Carey, and this is my video for Lab 4 of Fluid Mechanics. Today I'm going to be talking about the Leidenfrost effect. The Leidenfrost effect is something that happens when a liquid is in contact with a very hot surface. What happens is that instead of making all the liquid vaporize immediately, as you might expect, what happens is that part of the liquid vaporizes, and that vapor forms a cushion that insulates the rest of the liquid and actually prevents it from being vaporized. Here's a paper I found. In this paper there's a chart. This shows how long water droplets last on a hot plate as a function of how hot that plate is. You can see that as we put the plate a little higher than 200 degrees, suddenly the droplets last much longer than they did at lower temperatures because of this effect. And in this graphic, you can see it drawn out. So let's see this live. In this YouTube video, they pour water on a very hot plate, and you can see they're not immediately boiling and bubbling as you might expect, but rather they're just sitting on top of the surface as perfect little droplets, and that's because there's an insulating cushion of vapor, of steam, beneath each of those droplets, and eventually they would all vaporize away because the vapor is going to escape, but it makes for a really cool and a very cool visual effect. We see this again. This is the Mythbusters episode where they test an application of the Leidenfrost effect. Right here, what they're doing is they're going to dip a red-hot steel ball into a tank of room temperature water. When we see this in slow motion, we see that insulating layer it talks about. So between the liquid and the metal object, there's this layer of steam that's formed from the water turning into steam and then being trapped there and creating that insulating layer. Some cool applications of this. Turns out that if you get your hand wet, you can dip it into things like molten lead without getting burned. As long as you do it quickly, because when you dip your wet hand in, the water instantly turns to steam and forms an insulating layer of steam. Other cool things there are other cool things you can do. In that last video, you can make textured surfaces, which through their shape they propel water along. Nothing but the shape and the hot steam are making it move, but the water moves around the little gyroscope thing like that. Thank you for watching, and we have my sources here.